Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero here on the Tour Coach. If you're looking to get better at coaching, teaching, or playing the game of golf, you're in the right spot. I'm about to take you behind the scenes, inside the ropes, with all of the people I meet on my journey in the game of golf that are here to shed some experiences and shed some information that's going to help your journey improve and get better. Get ready. Let's go. Let's get better.
Cordie, thanks for sitting in.
Hi, Jackson. Good to be here.
Transitioning to GolfWell.
Oh,
Tell us a little bit about it.
yeah. Been Golf Science Lab for who knows, 10 years now at this point.
Is it really?
And, yeah.
Okay.
And I got back after it this year, just like wanting to get back out, like talking to people and learning again, and been a blast. But I didn't really resonate with the name. Like when we started, it was literally I was just talking to people about science stuff. Like that's all it was.
Okay.
And so changed, and so just kind of changed the brand, and now it's more like, yeah, like when I hang out and talk to someone like you or a lot of coaches and people, it's like, hey, we're just trying to like, what can we do to golf well? You see, I worked that in there. That was really good.
That was very good. And what I appreciate about it is a lot of the stuff that gets popular on social media is from coaches that are great with tour players, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And there's merit to that. But that doesn't necessarily always help the recreational player.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of a branch of yours that obviously applies to good players, but players that might not be worthy of playing on the tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they have 3 kids coming on 4, 1 kid coming on another, and like, and you know, it's funny. I transitioned to a club that was a little bit different, where there's it's a younger age demographic at the club, but a lot of these guys have jobs and kids, and then they're trying to go golf well.
Yeah.
And
that's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's just different. So, what are some of your goals with it, and what are you trying to help people with?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what I learned is like everybody should find their own challenge in a bit. So, like this year, I started a thing called like Road to 180, where I wanted to hit 180 mile per hour ball speed, and like
because you thought that would help your golf game, or
well,
because
I mean,
that's
like,
what you wanted.
I didn't want to set a goal of like I want to lower my handicap by a stroke or something like that.
Okay.
I think like setting different performance goals can like really help people get more engaged in the process. Like pick a target and like go for it. Maybe there's a putting, like this putting drill or some kind of strokes gain thing. You just take that on of like, this is my, like for the year, my target is this. And structure your kind of life around that. So with like Road to 180, I had to like figure out like, how does one go to a gym? Like that's been, you know, something I've had to figure out on that. And that's been like one thing, and it's been interesting to hear people kind of resonate with that. And like I get messages from people like, oh, I've started my own, you know, kind of like speed journey or whatever it is, right?
Because it is like, great to hit it further. And everybody loves it to hit it past their buddies.
Yes, yes. I don't think you can shoot lower golf scores with
makes it
hitting
easier.
It further. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like that's one of my that people can find like what is the thing I'm going to work on, whether it's wedges. Like we've done a bunch of stuff on wedges lately with different people, and it's just like, oh man, there's so many things they can pull off. So is this the year of like I'm going to own wedges this year and like get everything dialed in? But that's been really interesting to me is breaking down. The big goal is like, yeah, of course I want to shoot lower scores and get my handicap better, but like what are the different little, you know, avenues that we can go down and learn about and like kind of.
It's funny, I had a golf school one time, and the instructor that I brought in described golf as like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was a great description. I'd never heard it before. You got to like whack down putting, and you got to whack down drivers and irons and wedges, and like all these little things pop up. And having a way to whack down each one of those moles, you're trying to hit it further. People are trying to wedge it better, putt it better. Got it. Okay.
So when you work with a student and you pull up their stats, you only get their strokes gained for all the different stuff. If they are like have a weakness in, you know, 200-yard iron shots, right? Or like let's say it's 200 to 225, like just really bad, or whatever it is. Would you structure the practice plan to like focus more on that?
That's a really good question, and an open-ended one, because I think it's always relative to the player.
Okay.
Where I'm thinking of like 4 or 5 examples right now where you know, it's funny, oftentimes with an elite level player, let's say they're really good at ball striking, right? Well, like, they're a great ball striker, and continuing to like hone in on that is good, and like you can even make those skills better, which makes like putting and chipping almost not as important.
Yeah.
Right? Where like you still have to be good at those skills to win at high levels, but I think recreational players, it might be a little bit different, where like there's a consistency factor across the board. Like that's what I hear all the time, right? I want to be more consistent. Okay, well, like, yeah, scoring for a 10 handicap looks probably a little bit different for somebody that's trying to get their LPGA Tour card or trying to get their PGA Tour card from the Korn Ferry Tour. So yes, I think it is data driven, but also having some perspective with what it's actually like when it's under the gun.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So I guess if you have someone that is tracking stats or whatever they're using, right, and it says like, I'm a 10 handicap, but in my leg putting, I'm a 20 handicap, would you structure practice to like, we're going to focus on that?
For sure, like low-hanging fruit, right? Like low-hanging fruit, yes. 3 putt less, make everything inside of 5 feet, and be really good inside of 10 feet.
Yeah.
And like, can you hit it in the fairway, and can you hit it on the green, and like improve how many greens you hit so that there's not as much stress on your up and downs? Sure. Yeah, it's funny too, because all the good ball strikers, they might not have they'll have a round where they don't hit it great, and then you look at the stats and you're like, it really wasn't that bad, man. Yes.
So that's my pitch. I don't know, I call it weird, but I found like, become obsessive about something and just like chase it down. So whether it's a year of putting, maybe you like suck at putting, and I've never been there, I don't relate to that at all, but, and maybe you happen to end up with, you know, some new putters, your house looks like you got training aids everywhere, and then maybe it's your year of like, hey, I'm going to improve that, right? And so you like just chase it down and try stuff. You know.
And have some metrics for before and after.
Yeah. So that's a random pitch for you. Like,
I like that.
Find a thing, and like, what is my year going to look like? Because I want to chase speed, or I want to chase putting, or I want to chase some of that stuff.
January 2025.
I know.
What is your goal?
Your New Year's resolution. Do a fun New Year's resolution.
I like that.
Don't just say I want to lower my handicap by 5 strokes, because you're gonna come June, you're gonna be pissed, and you know.
Okay. Find your local dew sweeper, and we'll help you.
Yeah. Not if you have your local dew sweeper.
Thanks, Cordie.
Yeah.